Hello and welcome to another teaching for self-realization. My name is Gabriel and I will be your guide. So let's begin. Today I want to speak about self-realization in the sense that it's not different from any knowledge, any information, any teaching, any experience of knowing something in this world. Yes, self-realization is somehow different from everything else because every knowledge, every information is about reality, it's about the nature of reality, the interactions of uh, cells and particles and atoms and humans and animals. It's more about experience, more about this creation. But self-realization, it's about yourself, as the name. But it's not different from uh, learning how to be a painter, learning how to be a football player, learning uh, the planets, the galaxies, learning biology, microbiology, learning quantum physics. You know, it's very similar to all other knowledge. So when we speak about self-realization and enlightenment and the Buddha mind and the Christ consciousness, we speak with you know energy that appears magical or mystical, esoteric. You know, only in Shaolin temples, only in Kung Fu Shaolin, only in gurus and avatars. But self-realization is like knowing that reality has a microscopic universe, in which bacteria and parasites exist, and cells and every microscopic entity that exists. It's like that. Or spirituality, knowing that the reality is also spiritual, also quantum, also has another layer, another dimension to it that you cannot see it. You can feel it, you can connect with it like spirituality, but you cannot see it. The self is also like that. We have self-realization. Self-realization is the knowledge of self, the exploration of who we are, the exploration of the nature of everything, of our essence. This is self-realization, is the study, the knowledge, the whatever you want to call it. It's like we have mathematical, we have languages to learn different languages, and we have self-realization. Self-realization is also a study, and sooner or later it will find its way to more commercial aspects of reality, like schools and kindergarten and so on and so forth. Like we have quantum physics. Quantum is physics is very related to spirituality because uh, it's not that quantum physics proves that we have angels and we have heaven and hell and so on and so forth, but it proves that the nature of reality is not that binary, is not that physical, is more energetic, more on a quantum level. Reality is made of electrons and particles and quarks and protons and so on and so forth. So self-realization is like that. It's just knowing something about yourself, like you know something about the world, is not different from that. And this aura of mysticism and magic and Shaolin temples and Buddha statues and gurus and avatars, it's just the way the way our reality is made, you know. First, let's say medicine, okay? When medicine first appeared, we didn't know about germs and bacteria. We didn't know how they connect with our body, what uh, their interactions are with our bodies on with themselves. We didn't know nothing about bacteria, but a culture was born. You know, we had like old medicine, all the healing drinks or plants or stuff like that. We didn't see germs. We didn't knew that they exist. So we intuitively created something to deal with that dimension of reality, microscopic dimension of reality. Also with spirituality, you know. At first, some there, some here, meditate or talk about the nature of reality, that there is another dimension, uh, more subtle than the microscopic dimension, you know. And the self, it's also like that, because we are at the beginning of knowing who we are. I and a lot of masters and everything related to self-realization appears like something mystical, like an old medicine, you know, like an old shaman that knows how to heal you and how to deal with bacteria. But sooner or later, these things will be proven. Like we have physics, quantum physics, that it begins to prove that spirit exists, and spirituality is not something magical but something very natural, you know. I spoke about the nature of electrons, the nature of atoms, of uh, subatomic particles. If you cannot see them, doesn't mean it is not real, you know. Just that we don't see it because it's very small, like the soul, like the spiritual world, like germs, like even the wind, you know. You don't see the wind, but you know it exists. So that is why self-realization appears so mystical and magical, because it's at the beginning stages. And at the beginning you don't have, you know, Hubble telescope or microscope or technologies that can see the self or prove that the self exists. That, you know, we just starting to prove that the spiritual world is real through quantum physics and quantum mechanics and stuff like that. So, but self-realization is just like knowing that the earth is round, or knowing that we live in a galaxy, or how many planets are near us, or the existence of microscopic entities or quantum particles. Is just the same. It's not mystical. And I hope through this video that I can just delete some old magical vibrations about self-realization. Self-realization is just information plus experience. I say many times and on my videos, and there are a lot of teachers that speak on self-realization, and they are saying that there is only one self, we are one self in everything and everyone. The self is everyone, is like God, but we are that consciousness, that Buddha mind, that Christ consciousness. So that is true. We are that. We are what Moji and Eckhart Tolle and Papaji and Ramana Maharshi and all greats, uh, teachers and scientists, because we tend to look at spiritual masters like they are, I don't know, some magical Merlin type of warlocks and stuff like that, but they are just scientists, like scientists, like philosophers, like uh, they just find the nature of reality and speak about it, like Einstein speak about the universe, or you know many astronomers speak about the earth is round and the sun is whatever. So I would like to break this myth, this mysticism, this magical and fairy land about self-realization. Self-realization is a study, it's a knowledge, information about who we are. That's it. It's not, uh, wow, it's not like that, like the spirituality, it's expressing it. But we can understand why it's presented like that, because it's at the beginning. There aren't too many self-realized beings, too many beings that know themselves on this planet. Is, I don't know, maybe some 5% or maybe less or maybe more, but not that many. So it's like medicine in, I don't know, in the early times, or like quantum physics now. It's just at the beginning. You cannot speak about the self, you cannot show the self, the self is very subtle. It's like you have bacterias and the microscopic realm, where you can see with the microscope, like, and we have the quantum realm where you can see with quantum microscopes. Not that many, I think it's one or two invented. We have like one or two pictures of atoms of hydrogen and something like that. So it's at the beginning stage. But like when Einstein or Planck or uh, the quantum theorists uh, started to speak, they were like very in front of their times, So it's just that this self-realization is not that everywhere. It's not everywhere, Not that many beings know the nature of who we are. We don't know the nature of reality. We're just starting to see that, So that is why we speak of serialization like that, like it's something mystical, because there isn't much technology or like information about it. There are like some books and some masters and some quotes and on the internet, but not uh, there is not many information on it. And the self is very subtle, like I said, we have the microscopic level, we have the quantum level, and then is the self, like is very, you cannot see yourself. That is why so many beings trying to find themselves and they cannot find themselves, because we are like invisible, even though we see the body. That is why we identify ourselves with the body, because the body we can see but ourselves we cannot see. It's like beings are speaking about the soul, like the soul has some 7 grams or 21 grams or something like that. You cannot see the soul, it's very subtle. So the self, the consciousness, the nature of existence, God, you cannot see God because it's very little. And when I see little, I don't see, I don't say that it's like this, little. No, it's very subtle. It's like the quantum level, the microscopic level. There is everywhere bacteria and cells and uh, atoms and electrons, but you cannot see them, you know, in the sense that there are very little, but there is everywhere, like so. After we deal with quantum physics, I think, I'm not sure, this is just an opinion, the self-realization will begin, the nature of consciousness of who we are, because now we observe reality, uh, the quantum level, matter and gravity, but not who is experienced that world, like um, so yeah. So for all beings that are on a path to self-realization, it's not about uh, something that is you cannot or you can't or cannot achieve it. It's not about that. It's just about the right information, the right being, soul that knows that part of reality. Like if you want to to know astronomy or the nature of our planet or our galaxy, you have to find an astronomer or something that somebody that knows the reality of our planet and so on. You cannot go to somebody that doesn't know. So you have to find somebody that can teach you about reality, and then you have to see for yourself. This is self-realization. You have to find something or someone that knows uh, who is the self, what is the self, who am I, and can share that information or that knowledge, and then you can see for yourself. It's not about believing or having faith, it's just about experiencing that part of reality. And yeah, it's still mystical because even when a teacher uh, shows you the nature of yourself, the nature of reality, even then it's not clear, even though through experience it's very clear to me. So, but that is the teaching for today. So first, we have that self-realization is not different from any other knowledge, any other information, cultivation about reality, about the world, doesn't matter. Is special, yes, is special because is the is self-realization. Know yourself. Is that it's not that important to know how gravity works or anti-gravity or quantum particles. Yes, is necessary and will be known by us, but it's not that important like knowing yourself, like knowing peace, like finding peace, finding eternity, finding the nature of yourself. Stop uh, being ignorant about yourself. Stop being identifying yourself with things that you are not, with the body or with the quantum level or whatever. So self-realization is very special in the sense that it's about you. It's about our roots, our the essence. So it's special, but it's not different. It's not different from any other knowledge and information. So that is the point. Don't be like, oh, am I going to get it? Where can I get it? I have to go to India. I have to go now. I have to levitate. I have to meditate. No, it's just a knowledge. It's just an information. I have this channel and I give that information, so it's there. So there is a lot of information. Not that many like we have with, I don't know, with medicine or other stuff, with math or biology, but it's there. You can find it. It's very there. So this is the point, that it's not hard. It's just about trying to find something and find it. It was hard, um, I don't know, from the 60s, 70s, and even 40s, 50s. A lot of teachers, um, a lot of spiritual masters going to America, from India, going to Europe, and Buddhism, and so on and so on. So this information spread around the planet more and more, but it was a time that this information wasn't everywhere. And now we have the internet, so the internet is very helpful in the sense that we can multiply the information, we can share the information. So it's just about wanting to know who we are, what we are, who you really are, and going to the right teacher or right teaching or right book or right movie or whatever, and then practice it, like put it into practice to see if it's true or not. It's like learning to play football, or learning to, I don't know, to learning self-defense, or you can learn it and you can read about it, but until you practice it, you don't really get it. Self-realization is also like that. If I say you are the self, you are consciousness, you are something very subtle that is everywhere, is made of this, and everything is made of this, you know, you cannot do much with it. But if you meditate on it, and if you put it into practice and see if I'm right or not, if it's true or not, then you will have complete knowledge. So this is the teaching. Self-realization is not hard, it's not magical, it's not mystical, but because it's at the beginning level for our world, for our society, it appears very mystical, very different, very, like quantum physics is appearing. It's not that many beings that speak about quantum physics or the nature of reality, that matter is made of more little particles, more subtle particles that interact with each other, and so forth and so on. So when Einstein and Planck and a lot of scientists talk about quantum physics and the quantum realm, that it exists, it was a little mystical. Einstein was very interpreted like a madman or something like that. And also the gurus, the spiritual master, they are also interpreted like that. But it's this is how we evolve. At the beginning, it appears magical and mystical. It's like if you show somebody on an island, like a tribe or something, you show a TV or something, it's like very magical, very mystical at the beginning. But when he's knowing that the TV, how it works, it doesn't appear magical anymore. The self-realization is also like that. It appears magical because we don't have many proofs, many technology that can show that. It's just here and there some knowledge, some information, some meditation, some teachings. So that is why it's appearing like a very mystical and magical thing, but it's not. So whoever is on the path of serialization, just find the right information, the right master, the right scientist, spiritual scientist, or whatever, however you want to call it, and find that information and put it into practice to see if it's true or not. Because we tend in our world to have faith and believe in things that exist or not, and it's not that it's wrong, but until you don't know for sure, there will always be a, a swindle, something there. So yeah, this is it. Self-realization, it's, I don't say it's easy, but it's like any other knowledge, like any other realization, like any other cultivation, like any other information. No, but it's the beginning. Like when medicine started, like there were beings that talk about cures and like medicine, and nobody believed them. But now we believe them. We believe that we need medicine and plants because there is a world which bacteria and parasites and germs exist that we didn't knew exist because we could not see them because they are very small. Also with the quantum realm, we didn't know about atoms and electrons and so on, and spirits, but now we know. So the self will come in the future, but now it is at the beginning stage. So don't don't expect proof and technologies that can see it, and because, like I said, and I don't want to talk about the self right now in this video. It's just this teaching, but you can see other videos that I speak with the self. In the future videos I will speak about the nature of the self and information on the self, and you can see for yourself who is the self. So yeah, that is the teaching, that is the information for today. Let's get rid of this mystical, magical. Understand that we are at the beginning with self-realization. There are a lot of beings that don't know who they are, don't know the nature of reality. We're just starting to know the how matter works, how atoms and electrons are working. So we have a long way to go to reach self-realization at a global level. But it's starting. We are the beginning. We are like scientists. We are like not me, like the information. It's at the beginning. I'm not an enlightened being, or I'm not special because I know who I am. It's just an information that I wanted to know, to have, and I got it. And now I just share it because that is the nature of humanity, of human beings. They want to share with others because we are not alone. This is the game, this is the play. So enjoy this information, these teachings. And when I say, like when I say teachings, it's like, it's something that's it's very unrealistic, and teachings very esoteric, but it's not. It's just mathematics. It's just quantum physics. It's just biology. It's just self-realization. Let's let's clear that baggage. So yeah, thank you, and see you at the next teaching informations that I will share about self-realization. Because you can handle it from a lot of points of view, and you can speak about it a lot. I don't have the technology to make it. I'm one of that beings that only speak about it. I'm not the one that will create a device or prove it. I, I'm okay with it. I get it, and so yeah. Thank you and bye. And